I lived in Australia for a little bit when I was younger, and the way that the Aborigines look at constellations is they don't look at the stars, they look at the dark parts of the sky. And I remember seeing that when I was a little kid and being like, that's how we should view the world. Not by what there is, but what there isn't. So my name is Jaffee, or Catherine Jaffee, and I'm originally from Boulder, Colorado. While I had been in Turkey, I had come up with this weird idea to start a honey tasting trekking tour. And I wanted to work with local women beekeepers and create sort of the Napa Valley of honey tasting in this very remote and kind of poor part of Eastern Turkey. The women were able to be employed for the first time in their lives. They each were able to get enough income to be able to provide the clothing and school supplies and everything like that for their kids for a year. I think the kind of person that would do really well in going into a path of social entrepreneurship is somebody who looks around them and they're asking themselves all the time, how can the world be different? What is worth fighting for? What would I change? And not being critical of society and being like, man, society sucks, but just being like, how could I make this world better? The nights that I can remember where I went to sleep with a smile on my face were my days were filled with people. And I could just see them all in their element. Ultimately, I don't think there is a path. And I don't think there's one thing that I would tell people, go to this school, go to this, go to that. There are amazing, amazing resources. And once you get in the chute, it's easy to move along the chute. So the chute is, Ashoka, Echoing Green, Skull. There's a ton. They're all out there. And once you start looking at them, there are lists and lists and lists online. Just go out there and start by doing something. Go find something you really care about and then just see where that takes you and try it on, because it's not for everybody. If there isn't a social entrepreneurship organization or a social entrepreneurship program in your school, make one. Don't try and follow what other people are doing. If all the kids are quitting college so they can go start their business, do what you feel is right. Stay in college and then start your business. There's no path, I'm always so much more excited about the promise of the next day than what's happened. This is something I need to work on. It's just appreciating what has been achieved and going to bed with a smile on my face, because pretty generally I go to sleep exhausted, but I wake up really early and I'm like, oh, I wonder what could happen today. When I was in college, the most important thing for me is I was like, by the time I leave this place, I want to know what I believe in. And use that as a guiding principle. So no matter what I do in my career, I will just ask myself, am I working towards this thing I believe in, or am I not? And then I'll change jobs. Far too often we just see what's in front of us and we don't see what could be, or all the white spaces or the black spaces, the spaces that aren't filled. And that's where we should be looking and being like, this is space that could be filled with solutions or with ways that we could do things differently.